We're going. So I bought SQQQ today, kind of like I talked about how I would yesterday, but there's actually a lot to break down as far as the markets go, because today we saw actually a bear trap, and then I don't know if you want to call it a bull trap or not, but we saw everyone get excited, then we saw a sell-off into the close. So I guess let's just jump right into it because we're going to break it all down. As far as the dollar goes today, whole lot of nothing. We're going to zoom here on this weekly zone right here. See, we sold off. Ultimately, we held. I am going to draw this for now. This is actually why this white line is here is because actually that's a yellow zone right inside there. And I hate putting that disclaimer out literally every time. I just don't like having a bunch of things cluttered up, going nuts. So I am short the U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, and thanks to somebody in my group, I am actually short the U.S. CAD as well. So ultimately, I'm very short the dollar. Now, the U.S. CAD, the reason why I added into that today was, let's talk about the U.S. dollar, Japanese yen. We were breaking out of this monthly zone, these two green lines, giant monthly zone. Here's your daily zone inside here. We broke that support, banging, broke this trend. Absolutely amazing. I want that to go, but I can honestly see this bouncing right now. I was like, man. So I'm trading this on like a weekly time frame. I'm going to be short the U.S. dollar, Japanese yen for some time. I want this to be the biggest trade I've ever had. I want it down to, if we could just break this right here, break that 127. We are rocking and rolling. I want to short this thing all the way down to 110. So I'm actually pretty heavy short this. But we'll jump into the U.S. CAD real quick. This looked a little bit better. I'm short the dollar, but this is also a zone play. So we jumped up today. We hit that zone. I actually went short. Shout out to Cody. He is my admin. He's the one that told me about this. He sent me the chart, and I was like, man, that's too good not to short. So threw a little bit short there. That is up. We almost top ticked this thing. So that was actually a great call out and play. So I'm short both of these. Nowhere now. This will be on. You'll see updates on this as far as daily. If not, if we break down tomorrow, my stop will be in the green. As far as the U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, you don't have to ask me. The answer is yes. I'm short. It's just a matter of how much have I added on in the meantime. You're long the CAD in New Zealand in futures. Okay, interesting. CAD, Aussie, and New Zealand just been getting killed the last 2 weeks. So bought the dip. All right, Bitcoin, what's it doing? Still rejected this zone, kind of hanging out. Maybe put in a higher low. This is an iffy one. While the markets look weak, and I think the markets are, I think they're coming in hot. We're going to get to that. As far as Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin's going to follow suit. If the market does continue to sell off, kind of like I think it will, I don't think there's going to be a market rotation. I don't know if there's just going to be a safe place to hide unless it's cash, bonds, outside the actual markets. I think we see some real volatility. And Bitcoin's one of those. I don't think Bitcoin's going to avoid this one. It held so far. It's held up pretty well compared to the rest of the markets. And right now, trend is still up. We are still rejecting this zone. So we'll see. I think crypto kind of has a spotlight right now. But it's, let me put it this way. That could be a higher low. If we break this wick, we're coming down. There's just kind of no two ways about it. If we're going to put in a higher low, buyers need to show up right now. If the buyers don't show up right now on Bitcoin, confidence just won't be there. And then it does sell off. All right, the S&P. A little bit of everything today. Now, my focus was on the Nasdaq today, which is why, like, if you're in my group, you guys saw me. I bought SQQQ. I did also buy some QQQ puts later. Now, you guys know I swung calls overnight. So I was actually in SPY and QQQ calls overnight. And I thought we would actually get a gap and crap today. I thought we would gap up and then we would sell off. If you guys saw that clip in the morning, or you were on the stream last night, then you saw exactly what I was talking about and what I thought was going to pan out. But we kind of had the open here, and we were getting there. We were almost there, but we sold off right before the open, and we really just ripped this thing down, and that was fast. So here's kind of like our open, and then we sent it. I was like, I don't know. I added on to, not SPY, but the QQQ because it looks almost identical. I did add on to a couple calls there. They shot back up. I was like, done. I was waiting for this kind of green, and I thought this green would happen overnight. I thought we'd get the relief rally with, lesser volume. It's easier to push things around overnight. So I thought we'd get that and kind of be up there in the morning, and then I told you guys I was going to lock in those calls and go short. That just got delayed. And what I really wanted to do was wait for the selling to stop. We had a little hiccup here, pushed up here a little bit, but this time we're overbought. I guess just kind of ripped it right back down. Again, I babysat the Qs all day, so it'll be the conversation will be a little bit smoother there. Looking at this price action as a whole, this should concern people. So let's break it down from the top. Okay. Meltdown. So we're selling off. I encourage everybody to watch the video that came out this morning. If you don't want to watch the whole live stream from yesterday, watch the cap. It's kind of like Joe Rogan does. You have the whole podcast, but then you have these little clips from it. The clip this morning is from last night's stream, where I break down characteristics and why these red candles are very different from the previous red candles, and why this should concern you that we're not getting the relief rally. Now we did. In the midst of all this selling, so we're oversold. Things are getting nuts. If you're going to buy the dip, this is I guess high time to be buying the dip. If you're in the buy the dip crowd, then you love this area. They got nowhere. This right here is probably just more led by profit taking from people that were short. But this was the bear trap we got this morning, and I gotta admit, if you're in my group, there was quite a few comments in there and people were direct messaging me and everything like, "Don't you mean bull trap?" We are right here. I think right here. I was like, no. We trapped all the bears. We got them excited after all the selling off, and everybody thought, hey, we're probably going to bounce up. And then we just melted this thing down even further, breaking down some lows. There's a lot of traders will follow the overnight high and lows. When we break that, a lot of times we do just send it, and they got everybody on board. If you were bearish, you saw that, you thought today we're kicking in the nitrous. We're going in, and then they just ripped it right up on you guys. And then if you want to call it the bull trap, I think that's just profit taking, and then they loaded up back short. You can see we just went zone to zone right here for that quick little hiccup, sold back off into the close. As futures close, we opened up with a gap up, but I don't think it's enough. I think we get to that blue zone and sell off. So let's get to as far as the S&P goes, we are outside the expected moves. We got outside, tried to rein it back in. We are back out again, and this is important, especially if you're following me on TikTok right now. The very important part about these expected moves is inside these two white lines right here. It's you and institutions. That's it. That's the playing field. That's that. Okay. When we get outside of here, now it's you, the institutions, and the market makers. You got three players on the field right now, three teams. Things are about to get nuts. Now the thing is the market makers, they're coming in like the cavalry. Okay, they're going to help out one person. It could be you, could be them. You don't know. Imagine playing football and the whole other B team, right, just gets to come out and play on the field. That's what's going to happen. More than likely, so I say this all the time, 80% chance we rein this thing back in. We're going to close the week right above here. 20% chance we full send, because at this point market makers are delta hedging and they're just cranking this thing down. Now, while I say 20% chance, you might think that's a small chance. That's a big 20, because they will do this quick, fast, and in a hurry. It doesn't have to go to this level, but if they start delta hedging, 0 days expiration are certainly helping this out. We might really melt down, so watch out for that volatility. And this, I got to say, is what does make 0 days expiration enticing, because if you're trading like some SPY 533 puts and you buy them tomorrow morning, they're going to be nothing. They're going to be pennies, and they're going to end the day at if it were to just melt down if you bought 533, we end at 531. That's a $2 play that you could have bought for pennies. So the risk to reward there, it is pretty sweet. It is a gamble, but this is like the one scenario where I would consider taking on those plays. It's not just a YOLO, but hey, this is on the table. It's a legitimate thing. Maybe I do take advantage of this. All right, so Nasdaq, this is the one I was babysitting. So we had popped up. I bought SQQQ somewhere around this little hiccup right here. This is also where, so I added on to the calls. Right around here is where I started covering things. Now, if you're in my group, then you guys know. So I bought SQQQ, added onto it at the blue zone. I even told you guys beforehand. You said, hey, are we selling off right here? Are we going to make it to the blue zone? I said, not sure, but that's where I'm adding on. So we did get to that. I did add on to SQQQ. Right before the end of the day, I did buy QQQ puts. They are up quite a bit. And I'm swinging those. There's no spreads, anything about it. Just puts themselves and SQQQ. But this was the bear trap. Break that zone, get the bears excited, and then just rip it up on them. And back to what I was going over on the S&P. Let's bring it back a little bit. This is what I was originally going to say when I was going over the S&P, was we have all this selling off. Then we get the, if you want to call that a rip your face off rally, I'd say it checks a couple of the boxes. We bounce. We recover. Listen to that. We recovered. We bounced out of this yellow zone, full send up, and you thought sunshine and rainbows. We hit that zone, and in the absolute same day, okay, you just got done cleaning your lunch plate. We sold right back off, gave every bit of it back. Now, when we can't hold on to a single thing, this is price action. It doesn't matter the ticker. Okay, think of it characteristically. We bought it. Everybody's excited. Not a single person had that same conviction and held on to it. It's like, no, yeah, I got you. I'm right behind you. And then they just ghost you. They scatter like cockroaches and they're gone. Tells you the confidence is zero. That tells you not a single buyer was actually buying to hold this, but they were probably buy-side activity from buying to close a short position, and then they just piled right back into this thing. So maybe, again, that's a bear trap. People love to float and throw around these terms out of nowhere, and the market is kind of just ever-changing. And so this is the one time. You guys know I like to poke fun at some other YouTubers. If I'm legitimately making fun of them, I will not ever say their name, just so you guys know. Gurus-wise, the internet has enough bad opinions. I don't typically like to add to it. I'll give my opinion, but I won't really name them. But I like to poke fun at a lot of other YouTubers. So if you ever hear me name them, I like to poke fun at Meet Kevin just because he's big. He's said some stuff that I just think is hilarious sometimes. But this market right now, regardless of the guru you watch, whether he's right or wrong, I wouldn't worry about it at all. I don't care if he called it to the T. I even had some pretty impressive moves today with these zones. As far as my entry on SQQQ, adding that onto the T, buying puts. The volatility we're going to be in, if the guru you're watching is dead wrong on all of it or nails every one of them, I'd say the odds were about the same. This is the one time I would give that creator, I would take it with a grain of salt, because when you enter this kind of volatility, this kind of market participation, this is not retail. This isn't Wall Street bets jumping in here and buying some 0 days expiration. This is institutions moving the market. You don't just move. This isn't some penny stock. Ross from Warrior Trading didn't just call out the Nasdaq and move it and then say he's going to go short and sell that thing off. So when you're going to play this game and the big boys are playing, They will love to make everybody look stupid. It's very hard to guess. So even take what I say with a grain of salt, regardless of my previous track record. And I'm talking like the last couple trades. You never know if the things are going to just get nuts or not. The cool thing is things probably will get nuts. So if it goes in your favor and you don't just paper hand that thing, it could be a decent trade. On the other side of that coin, it goes against you and you don't know what a stop loss is or risk management, you're about to get smoked. So be careful with all that. Do I think the CPI number tomorrow will get a Friday rally? Nah, I don't think so. And I'm judging that based off of this right here. This is the futures right here. And the index is QQQs. This is the Nasdaq. This is what your futures look like. QQQs over here. The fact that we gave all this up, I don't know if the letters, what did I call them the letters, right? PPI, CPI, PCE, whatever they are, I don't think anything's going to do this. Price action wise, everybody knows CPI is tomorrow. Like who cares? Let's pull it up. Let's refresh this thing. Everybody knows the letters are there tomorrow. Someone's going to talk. Whatever the news, there's jobless claims. Don't we have GDP? I thought we had one of them tomorrow. That's today. Hang on. So tomorrow. Okay, PCE is what we have tomorrow. Okay, we all know, right? No one's jacking around. This rallied up and came right back down. The way they piled in like this, they are not holding on to jack, which only confirms what I was saying last night. I think we're going to get the continuation. The only thing I wanted to really warn last night, I even sent a couple of texts of, hey, don't buy this dip. Chill on that for a second because, yeah, we might get green, but we're coming right back down. Terry says gold futures are pumping. Let me just deviate real quick. Terry, gold futures are pumping. What do you want, the 30-second time frame? I'm just kidding. In the futures market, if you guys just trade stocks and you've never been on futures or anything, this, even though I'm super zoomed in, that's some money and some contracts right there. Overall, while we're on gold, I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised gold hasn't done better with, you know, sometimes when the market gets crazy, people like to buy the shiny stuff like raccoons, you know. Man, there's been better situations. I'd say if gold breaks above this, we're probably going to check that zone, though. How do I get on the text list? You're in the Discord, man. December contracts. We switched? Okay. Yeah, this is the continuous. All right, let's get back to the Russell. What an awkward day for the Russell. We're talking about the sky is falling. I sound like Chicken Little. Get your poncho on. You're in the splash zone. And the Russell bounces out of this zone, has a slight little pullback just to make a bull flag. Russell's holding on pretty well. Small cap, I'm actually surprised small cap is even holding on this well. Maybe Russell just didn't get the memo. Like, hey, this party started. We're selling things off. Russell was out of service, you know, just he was on roaming, you know, LTE where it's crazy. Speaking of cell service, you guys ever remember guys when LTE was like awesome? Now you have LTE and nothing loads. What happened? Because he was on LTE and he didn't get the memo. We're supposed to sell everything. IWM just needs to stay under 126 for you. IWM? You mean 226? Hopefully that means 226. 125. IWM, I hate to break it. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's 220, not 125. Thoughts on crypto? I wouldn't short it. It's something I don't really trade it. It's something I buy. I buy Bitcoin and Ethereum every week. I think crypto could. I think it's going to sell off with the rest of the Nasdaq market, but I think it also could be a surpriser. 1, 2, just numbers. If people are rotating into small cap, wouldn't it be bullish for the Russell? It would. And this is the argument I have towards market rotation. Look at how much this is up. Okay, here's let's just keep I'll go to the indices. IWM. Look how much that's up. We're talking about last few trading sessions right here. Now let's look at the QQQ. Absolutely melted down. We didn't rotate. They just pulled out of this. And someone was like, yeah, it's a market rotation. And like 3 people bought IWM. So that's the one thing that would concern me as far as talking about a market rotation is that we're just not seeing the outflows correlate with the inflows, if that makes sense. So that's what I would just say, let's just stick to the charts. Who cares if it's rotation, if Kamala's going to be president, Trump's going to be president, or Putin decided to buy something. I don't know who cares about the news right now. Let's just stick to the charts. And I really would. I mean it when I say that, because right now, who cares why? This is holding up a lot better than some of the other ones, and maybe that's just a sign of, hey, maybe this is the storm shelter. Maybe people do hang out in here. Things are just a little bit less volatile in this one. And when things are less volatile, you don't have to make decisions as fast. It's a little bit easier mentally for some people. Maybe they do come hang out in that. He says it is a market rotation. What do you mean? Small caps have been oversold and QQQ was overvalued. Sure. Anyway, Russell has room. The Russell, I would say this bright yellow zone would be where I worry about sellers. Right now we're bouncing back and forth between the speed bump zones. It's the house with the blue roof. Hang on, I gotta tell TikTok it's a market rotation. Yes, let's appease this guy. It's a market rotation. We're rotating everything. Everybody's gonna sell tech and buy Russell. There. Are you happy? Jesus. Anyway, I can't wait to watch some of these other guys' videos. Maybe I would learn something. Sometimes I forget when I'm just streaming and just listening to comments. I'm like, God, I forget. I think these people. Anyway, full send. It sounds like you should just whole account Russell, and there you go. Ta-da. Man. It's a 360-degree rotation. Yeah. All right, TikTok has 0 cents. Don, I had to play nice. I'm trying to play nice. When you're just blowing up the comments of it's a rotation, like Jesus, sure, call whatever you want. Call your stepsister. I don't really care what you want to call it. Just call it something somewhere else. I don't care. I care about the price action, and I care about making money. That's where my bias is. Oh, you guys are gonna start saying some cuss words again. Don't care. I'm looking at the camera like it matters. Anyway, hopefully, if I offend you enough, they don't come back. But I do like the ones that I can disagree with and they stick around. I do like those. It identifies as a rotation. There we go. Yes. Who am I to assume it's a rotation or not? It's clearly identifying as a rotation for some. Okay, its pronouns are rotate and rotation. Would love to see your plays. Well, sign up. All right. Okay, so as far as Tesla goes, again, looks like everything I did was amazing. Bought more at the 215 mark. I still have the 210 sold put. That's the 50-50 one. I think I'm going to come out okay on that one. So for earnings, I sold the 275 call and the 210 put. I can almost say with confidence that that's going to be a 100% play on the 275 call. We got 50-50 on the 210. So I will have more shares at 210 if it does drop below. I will take assignment on that. I'm not going to roll. I'm going to just keep that. I don't care what zone it bounces off down here. I won't add on again until it actually does reverse. Rotate that thing, baby. 1 second, guys. I gotta just... Jesus. Sorry, I had to block that guy. He's just, like, commenting way too much. Like, shut up. Get it. Let's see. Yeah. Casey, don't... He should be blocked now, so he should be good. But anyway, don't listen to idiots like that again. Sorry, she's a new admin, so she doesn't know. You rolled the 200 put sold. 200. Today would have been the day to do that on a green day. Right? No, never mind. Red day would have been better. Sorry, there is a little oracle in here. I think I'm going to be all right. I think the fireworks are probably done for Tesla. The one thing I like about this is, I'm actually incredibly bullish at Tesla. You guys know that. The market gave everything back, like bounced up, gave everything back. Boom. Tesla didn't. So I like that right now. But that's what makes me believe I think I'm going to be all right on my 210 puts. Hang on a second. Hey, you can't make this noise, okay? It's going to play anytime you open that up, okay? Take it to that white desk, and then you can, okay? I don't know. In a little bit, but Daddy's working. Sorry. One of these days, they'll understand what work means. Just kidding. Robots are going to do it. And Optimus is going to be the one that does it. Anyway, I'm thinking Tesla's going to be all right, but that's the 50-50. That's kind of my play on that one. I missed what were my thoughts on SPY. SPY and QQQ. For those of you guys that are just joining now, you have to share. You have to share, like it, and all of that. If I'm going to repeat myself, I think because we pushed up and gave it all back, we get the continuation down. So this got asked earlier in the chat today as well. And the answer I gave was I can't even give a 50-50 on this. A lot of times, I hate to say it, but it's red or green, right? It's going to go up or it's going to go down. But the three options tomorrow, and I hate how obvious this is about to sound. Please don't hate me. It's chop around, up, or down. And I know that's why you're here, right? I think the more likely play is a choppy day tomorrow. It may be some violent swings like we saw today. So intraday traders probably could make some real money. And if I had to put it in order, choppy would say, it technically it's 33, 33, 34. So let's see. We'll put choppy at the 34%. And then we'll put sell off at 33. And then, I don't know. Let's do 34, 34, 2. 30, 32? Yeah. I don't think we rally tomorrow. So I want to say I think the fireworks are done and not done at the same time. How do you say this? This is a very very complicated way to put things. Because if I tell you the fireworks are done, you might. Yeah, I don't want you to fall asleep tomorrow. But I think we might open and close at the same price. Around there. Sounds like a fun Friday. It sounds like if you're jumping in the action, you're either here to play. If you're trading tomorrow, you're in for the action. That's it. I guess I'll just leave it at that. You're not going to be here just lulled to sleep and not doing anything. Oh, the guy created another TikTok account? I blocked him and he created another one? Casey, what are you doing? Are you an admin or not? Do your job. Casey, you're about to be fired. You're killing me. What an idiot, though. He created another account. I blocked the other one, so he created another account and came in. Yeah, if he was that persistent at trading, he might actually learn something. All right, anyway. All right, Rivian, chart it out. What? Awkwardly right in the middle between two zones. Could you just ask me this when it's in a zone so I can tell you which way it's going? If tomorrow that gaps up, you might be fine. I think we have the lower highs, so we're looking for the lower low, and it'll probably end up being that zone. Casey, don't embarrass us. Yeah, no kidding. Jesus. I lost Wi-Fi right when he commented. I'm sure he'll have another one. You told me yesterday it hit both ways. Which one? All right. Okay, so NVIDIA, we sold the... Let's get back to NVIDIA. We sold the 120 call for tomorrow. So ultimately that held that zone. It popped up. We were right here. I sold the 120 call because it's just in that zone. It's also should be around the 20 deltas when we sold it. So we just collected money on that. The reason why I went with tomorrow's expiration was just to get that free money. And let's see what tomorrow leads. Because I think we could get choppy. I don't think we'll get a clear direction. That's why I didn't want to go with next Friday's expiration. Because if NVIDIA pushes up, I'd rather sell 126 for next Friday. If tomorrow this was green and this zone held, and we send it up, I'd rather sell another call for more money. Admin for hire. My thoughts on Tesla tomorrow? Chopping around. I don't think it does anything. I like how Don is ignoring the YouTube chat. No, Alex said admin for hire on YouTube. And same with you're a buyer of Chipotle in the 45 area. Did you sell or buy Tesla puts at 2? I sold the 210 puts, sold to open. So, and I will take assignment if it gets below 210 this week. Michael says chart out meta. All right, I guess we could throw some zones on there. What do you know? They're already there. Now this is what's going to suck, because meta's my number one position, and I worry. Everything I said does still stand true. I only benefit for this to hold this zone and bounce up, but I don't have a lot of faith. I think meta might be coming on down to that 425 zone. Matt says I'm the captain. I know you wouldn't let that guy in there. I can't believe Casey failed us that bad. I love the background music. That's the Oracle with her little music box or bracelet box. I don't know. You open it up and the ballerina spins. Okay, let's do a what other plays we take? The whole thumbnail SQQQ. So I am in QQQ puts. We did buy SQQQ. If you are part of the Patreon, then you saw we bought SQQQ at 907. Now, it was 907 right here, right when we started to get choppy. Bought that. It was down. This is where I added in my main account. This is that blue zone on the S&P right here. But I didn't want to do that in the growth account. Pick that up. Come on. Quit standing on things. Sorry, guys. I don't typically let them in here for this exact reason, but yeah, we didn't buy SQQQ. I did, and if you agree, then you did it. Blake. Okay, just try. Okay, then just no more standing on it. You're okay. Sorry, guys. I promise I won't have... Oh, did he show up again? This guy is consistent. That's hilarious. We need the Oracle's direction right now. Okay, Blake. Don't cry. Come here. They need your help. But you gotta be on camera, so you gotta wipe those tears. Come here, get ready. They want to know if it's gonna be red or green tomorrow. Okay. They don't want to see you cry though. Okay, come here. You're not in trouble. Oh, no. Okay, so is this going to be up tomorrow or down? Well, pick one, red or green. You don't be like this. What do you think? All right. All right, I got to explain this because this is a question I've been asked 100 times today, and I've answered 1,000. Okay. Hopefully everyone's watching this time because I've said it in Discord, and I know not everybody's on there all the time. What is my stop loss on SQQQ? Right now, there isn't one. This is a price action thing. This is a hedge because we do have NVIDIA. What is SQQQ going to do to the account that's going to really kill it? Because if the Qs go up, NVIDIA goes up, we're selling calls on it. We have everything that's going to cover this. But if the sell-off continues, then we're going to manage this. Right now, we got to just hang out for the next couple days, which is why in the growth count, we only bought 100 shares. So we're waiting. But no stop loss. This is a price action thing. As far as my main account goes, it's 845. 845, and then I'll be out. So it's way down here, but I just wanted to give it plenty of room below this. No, Lori, I promise you're not the only one that asked that. I've answered that a few times today. But I 100% get not everybody's in the chat all the time. Casey, don't mute them. Just block them. Just block them so fast that they don't even realize they even have it. Please look into spy. I have. Donna's going to yell at somebody tonight. I'm not going to yell at anybody. The idiot on YouTube, or not YouTube, TikTok is annoying. Yeah, Casey, just block him. Block him so fast he quit. Just make him question if they even got on the account. There's no time for idiots. All right. So as far as SQQQ goes, if we get the sell-off tomorrow, there won't. As far as the stop loss goes, it'll just be in the green. So we own it at 907. If this were to gap up tomorrow, we'll probably put our stop at like 925. And just kind of take that risk off the table in case things do just kind of send it down. If it does, we'll tag out. And probably, as of right now, if that were to happen, we'll just get right back in. So why do you think the market tanked with bullish GDP and job data? Because that doesn't actually move the markets. It's an excuse to move markets, but doesn't actually like move markets. Sorry, if you're new here, that's probably going to really confuse you and make you wonder why. Question your whole life. Please look into SPY. We're looking. There it is. Again, guys, I worry about price action in general, not the excuses you guys think moves the market. Whether you want to, if it identifies as rotate and rotation. But anyway, this price action right here, this snap up, first of all, the selling off was getting the bears excited. That's called exit liquidity. So everyone that was short got them excited, then bought back their shorts, created that exit liquidity, got all the bears excited, and then they bought it right back up, buy to close, and then they just piled it right back in. Again, as far as news goes, there's algos that are searching for keywords and making some plays off that, but all that is just liquidity. It's just moving money around at that point. Do was quick with the hate. Yeah, that's how you know he's not profitable. Manipulation. I guess you can call it manipulation. It's just the stock market game. But when you have, so look at how much the market's moving. Again, Wall Street Bets isn't moving this thing. Okay, you need actual institutions. Institutions can't just click the market sell button like you can with your 3 shares. Okay, so they need to create those buyers and sellers. They need to get everybody on board. Someone else has to hold their bags. They can't do it. So if they were to just go ahead and buy their, so again, to close your short position, you got to buy it back to close. If they just market click that, we would just gap this thing right back up. So they need to create that hype, that fear to the downside, so everybody starts piling in short, and they can get out of their short positions and lock in that profit. 6 point down in 30 minutes at the market close. Insane for QQQ. Yeah, that's them piling it right back in. That's why I think we're just getting even further south. Everything about this just tells me we're going to get the continuation. What happens tomorrow? Tesla showed strength. Tesla held up. First of all, Tesla was weird. As far as the markets went, it's something I even said in the chat today was, why is Tesla up? Everything's melting down. And so the growth account that we post all the trades on Patreon is in Robinhood. So I open up Robinhood and I see every ticker's red. The only one green one is Tesla. I'm like, what is going on here? But yeah, so Tesla held up well. Tesla is, personally, I think there's a lot of reasons to be in Tesla. But as far as that goes, I don't know if it showed strength or held up well. I think you're just arguing semantics at that point. And hopefully it pushes up. But for me, it was Tesla and MDB. Yeah, so what happens with Tesla tomorrow? I think we chop around. I think for the day traders, if you're scalping it in between, man, if I'm scalping tomorrow, guys. So on Fridays, I don't trade. You can ask my group; they make fun of me for it a lot. I set my alarms at the bell, and this comes from a long time ago. I would look at my trades and kind of look at my history, and I would physically mark on a paper calendar with a red X or a green X. And I noticed a lot of my red X's happen to be on Fridays. Things just characteristically, they don't trade the same. It's like the institutions are just getting a head start to the weekend. You have your people that are trading the first 30 minutes and then the last 6 people that just don't know when to go home. It's kind of like the market trades on Fridays. So I don't get excited about them. I specifically sleep to the bell. Sometimes the alarm doesn't go off, or I just don't care. I check it at probably about 15 minutes before power hour, just see if there's any weekend deals I want. But I would think tomorrow we're just going to chop around on Tesla. Jim Cramer thinks it's a buy. Well, unfortunately, that means Tesla's probably headed to 160. Yeah, looks like a nice long bear flag on SPY. Everything about this, we're just going to call that the middle finger pattern, and it's going to send it right back down. Everything about this, to me, just looks bearish. Friday is payday for a lot of people, so they play it. Well, have fun. I don't. Kathy Wood bought more Tesla. Sweet. You're holding Tesla. So it's as far as you guys, it's hard to not go back and forth. My investment account, my number one position is Meta. Second position is Tesla. So in my investment account, I own the shares. I sell calls against it, and then there's my trading account. So I'm for sure holding Tesla. I'm riding whatever storm that happens. Who dat says he sleeps until 2 p.m. usually. Don't let him fool you. No, I don't. Not all the time. What do I think of Lulu? I think OnlyFans killed it. You know, they used to be on Instagram just showing off those Lululemon pants, and then OnlyFans came along and said, "Why wear clothes at all?" And then what do you know? It's just been selling off since. Too bad that guy's blocked. I'm sure he'd have something to say about that. That's not why Lulu's down. They rotated into something else. They rotated into Reebok. I don't think I'd catch this knife. There's a gap fill. So there is a zone right here. Right inside here, and then we gapped up and then sent it. This will be the first time we've checked that zone in a while. So if I was going to catch this knife, my stop would be 237.85. And I would buy one. So typically there's a type 1 and a type 2. And that's a lot of my plays are I buy at the type 1, I add on at the type 2. This particular one, I'm only buying once. It's either here or I wait till a little bit later. Same stop. And once that pushes in the green, that's my position. That's the play. It's in. I'm putting my stop in the green, and we're gonna call it. Anthony says he's got a 232 target on it. Why 232? Is there an EMA down there? There's something. So this price action, so we push up, we sell off, we gap up, we sell off, we tried it again, we sell off. So there's Winnie the Pooh is definitely hanging out right here, or was. So there was something to be said for this area right inside there, just shy of 232. That personally, that's kind of where I would be at. Rate cut in July? Nope. Personally, I don't think. I've been saying this all year. I don't think it's going to change. I think we get one rate cut at the end. I think we at the end of the year. For now, I don't even think they even hint at it. I think it's too soon. Everyone says no rate cuts. I think that's BS. I think we're going to get one later. I think we'll probably not in July. I know we have a meeting next week on the 31st. They're not even going to hint at it. They're not going to talk about it. He's going to say the same stuff he always says. But I think maybe in the next 1 or 2 meetings, I think we'll get a hint. I think things are probably breaking right now. Now, again, they're not going to cut rates all sunshine and rainbows. They're going to need an excuse. I think we're setting up the excuse right now, and I think that's what will happen. The data today, they just delayed rate cuts. They're back and forth. I don't know. I don't follow too closely on that because I don't want to get wrapped up in the news. I don't think the rate cut happens till later this year, though. Volume profile for the weekly chart. Okay, that's where you found it. Check Nike. Ooh, get wrecked. There's probably a support. I'm sure some traders out there have this as a support right here. That's a weaker zone for me. Let's speed bump zone that up right there. So I'm going to call that blue. Speed bump zone, you have to just be on YouTube to maybe get the full lingo down or repetitions. The longer you hear, the more you'll understand kind of how I do things. I would much rather, so if I'm looking for a reversal, it's going to be these yellow zones. If I'm thinking about it, toying with it, it hits these blue zones. That's kind of where I'm going to babysit and keep an eye on things. Maybe it reverses, maybe it doesn't. So right, I would give that reversal a 50-50 shot. I would catch that knife at the 66-65 area. Nike ate my lunch a few Fridays ago. I could tell. That thing's gapping down like crazy. Did they protest it? Did they burn all their Nike shoes? I find that hilarious. I don't know why. Well, what were they protesting Nike for last time, where people were lighting their, was it their Air Jordans on fire, or just their Nike shoes in general? It would be so hard not to troll everybody. If I was the CEO of Nike, I would be on there like, please don't do it, please stop. Just because that would encourage people to go buy more shoes so they could light it on fire. Because once they light it on fire, it doesn't matter. It means they got to buy more shoes. And once I have my money, it doesn't matter. Do I trade bullish or bearish divergences? No, not really. It's not something I search for. If there's times where I'm just kind of looking around charts and I see things like that, and I like it, but it's not something I ever like search for. Nike rotating into HMNY. Them yogurt pants. Can we get "Don't Ban Me, Bro" t-shirts for the group? No. Nope. Absolutely not. I'm not going to do anything remotely that close to Meet Kevin. I'm surprised our little hater didn't make another account. Was 3 accounts just enough for him? Do I trade gaps on stocks? Yes. I make fun of gaps a lot on ETFs, though. But, yeah, gaps are a real they're a real thing. When you think about what creates the gap in the first place, then, yeah, of course they should be paid attention to. But I also make fun of a lot of gaps in general because people say every gap will fill, and then so I just scroll back and start pointing out all the gaps that didn't fill. Like Nike should technically fill that gap at $39, but we also got the other one at $27. Looks like 27 is the last gap that didn't fill. So if we're talking about gap fills, get your limit orders ready. Start selling those 27 puts on Nike, coming in hot. And look at the chart right now. Looks like you might get that wish. All right, YouTube. I have to get to my mentorship group now. So on Thursdays we do Zoom meetings. I like to see everyone's faces. I don't like to just have a chat and talk to myself and watch. It's been a while since I've had a hater show up. It has been a long time, but man. Let me just touch base on this real quick. I've never met anyone successful that has that kind of time. This guy, YouTube, if you're watching, I'm live on TikTok as well. This guy got super offended because I said it's not. You can call it a market rotation, but not really. Again, stick to the charts. But if you look at the Qs absolutely melting down. IWM holding. Right? We can talk about this rally, but that rally, I'm talking about this chunk right here. The last few trading sessions. IWM sideways. Nasdaq. QQQ, right? Not sideways, just straight down. So looks more like they're rotating into cash. Anyway, this guy got super offended and just kept posting. It's a rotation. It's rotation. It's rotation for smart traders. It just went nuts. Anyway, and then he just wouldn't stop, so we had to block him because he was just saying dumb stuff. And he created 2 more accounts. The energy. You're so triggered from it. I don't get a chance to really get triggered from it. Like, how often do we have haters on here? I really thought when I started YouTube, everyone's like, "Oh, the hater's going to come out of the woodworks." I was prepared for it, and then we've had, I think that's our 3rd one. We've been here since 2017. Tell them to get a life. That's not fun. Why are people too lazy to just hit the thumbs up button? Donna's going to leave us for TikTok soon. We got 30 likes on YouTube, 7,300 likes on TikTok. The real devoted ones. Anyway, is QQQ the big stock market mover? Yeah, well, yeah. I was trying to think, like, do we break this thing down? That's kind of a loaded question, kind of not. 50% of the stock market's movement is from, 10 tickers? They call it the Magnificent Seven. They're all the top tickers in QQQ. So if the QQQs are having a rough time, markets are going to have a rough time. So the Russell, the biggest one in the Russell, I think it's like 21, 22% is financials. That's small cap, basically small cap and financials. Nasdaq will be tech. SPY is almost a mix of both. Uh-oh. He says, placing IWM 250 calls for the 26th, tomorrow, same day expiration. I will make so much money tomorrow, full porting it. Oh, man. Please make sure you follow me. And so 100%, I'm not even hating. I hope you absolutely kill it. I can't make plays like that. In fact, the one thing I hate the most was, and I say it, I don't mean to be mean, but like having a brain. Like in 2021, I left so much money on the table because I did things like risk management and just didn't get stupid. Like, that's what Wall Street Bets did. They just did stupid stuff, and they got rewarded for it. And I am hating on that because I'm a little bit salty on that one. So I can't take plays like that. This is also my income, right? It's certainly not TikTok or YouTube. But I want to sometimes. I just want to just go nuts, and I want to have it play out like it does for some of these Wall Street Bets kids. Just Terry says I'm too chicken to do trading like that. That's where I'm at. Everything about it just says that's a bad idea. But if I'm gonna do it, out of the three, the Russell looks like at least you got a bull flag, you got it holding up well, you got the guy with 3 TikTok accounts. I mean, that guy's got some turbo thumbs. You think how fast he made those TikTok accounts? He says it's a rotation into there. So IWM identifies as rotate and rotation, and it's sending it. Russell hopefully just sends it for you. I do stocks, but it says I'm not in the fill. It just means you're not filled yet? Anyway, where did that guy go? We're going to call his name out. Jawos. Jawoohs. I hope that guy's rich tomorrow. I like hearing about this. I don't want to just call out bad behaviors, but if you're going to go full send, I'll be there. Like, I want to hear about it. Like, if your friend goes up to the casino and is like, watch this bet, and about to throw a whole stack of chips on one blackjack hand, of course you're going to hang out and watch. Who doesn't? He's kidding? No, he's not. He better not be. I'm excited for it. I have to trade vicariously through you guys on these plays. What do I think? Bullish. Of the three, I think IWM is holding up the best. You know, sometimes I talk. We got a little baby bull flag. Then we got a big bull flag. So hopefully it sends it. What I worry about, though, is if we are going to get into a market correction. Not just tech. Now, tech was up there. Tech's been on an absolute tear. I mean, as far as this rally goes, this pullback, we're just now making the Fibonacci people happy at the 50% retracement. I didn't draw them out there, but I'm sure if you did, we were right around that mark, right? So we're halfway there. If I told you to buy the Russell right here, but there's one kicker. You have to hold it until August. It's going to go to here and pull back to here. Not a single person says no. They hold account, they leverage, insurance fraud on their house, they mortgage it, and they buy even more. That's literally nothing. So if we just go from peak, we're still in pullback territory. We almost crossed correction territory today. Remember, pullback 0 to 9%, correction 10 to 19%, crash 20% or higher. We know we're going to get to the. I wonder if we fully correct tomorrow. We'll hit. So if we drop down just 0.5% tomorrow, you'll see the headlines of Nasdaq has now corrected, and I'm curious if that's all we get. If the S&P is going to correct, the Nasdaq will push crashing levels. Just the gravity with that'll just pull that with it. If I'm going to go full port on something, it would be the Russell. But again, looking at all this, if we're going to, the one wrench in those gears is if right now, we won't know until hindsight, right? What if the Nasdaq is telling you where everything else is about to go? And then you're in trouble. Then you went full tilt, one play, a directional play, and gave yourself no time for a recovery, and then you lost. Then you look at the weekly and realize tech's been cruising since 2023. Yeah. I mean, this looks like really red to us because as traders, we have tunnel vision. We are so zoomed in on this thing. It just looks big. If anybody watching their 401k, their investments, They're like, hiccup. This is nothing. Absolutely nothing. So as far as the weekly goes, this is the normal bull trend. You're about to hit dip buy territory. Just today's price action was a little concerning, and I kind of think we're getting it in gear. Well, I think we have some more selling to do. I am a very big bull when it comes to Meta, Tesla, and Nvidia. Palantir is going to be in there. If you guys have been watching the past few streams, you know when I sell calls on those, I'm going to buy Palantir shares. The ones I'm outright buying will be Meta, Tesla, and Nvidia. So the cheaper they go, the more shares I get to buy with the same amount of money. Price action on SPY and QQQ is wild. Yes. You said 10% pullback, 50% crash. No. 1 to 9% is a pullback. 10% to 19% is a correction. 20% or more is a crash. So much sideline money will come out. I don't know if there is that much sideline. There's a lot of reports. I know there's a lot of people saying there's money on the sides. There's some reports coming out saying there's not much money on the sides. So we'll just have to see. Terry bought 6,000 shares of SLV. Terry, I'm not laughing at you. I used to trade silver quite a bit, but then I realized it compared to my savings account. It just moved so slow. It was such a turtle that I just was like, I'm done with this. And so it's been like an inside joke for forever. But at least it's got some movement. Hopefully they buy the shiny stuff and this thing starts to pump. So this is the silver futures. If I was going to load up, I guess it would have been right here. Futures, I would be a little bit more picky. Futures contracts move quite a bit more. As far as SLV, because it is so slow, buying it I don't know if I'd be that picky. If I was bullish, I wouldn't want to miss the dip waiting for that zone, and it just never hit. How do you feel about tech right now? Do you see it dropping more? Yes. Are you sticking with it or out? So make sure you follow me because I'm going to post a short. I got to record it tonight. I'm just selling calls. I'm going to move the strike down. I sell weekly calls, so I'm going to ride this storm out. I'm certainly not jumping out now. If I'm going to make the move to jump out, I like to front run the risk a lot. So if I see the move coming, I get out a long time. I'm not buying puts outside of the puts I bought today. Generally speaking, when something's already down, I'm probably not buying puts. And if I'm in something and it melts down, I'm not selling at the bottom. Like, my account is full of people that sold me their shares at the bottom. I'm not trying to be that guy. Ooh. CISA Electrical Services, LLC. Ooh, what area are you in? I'm a real estate agent as well, so I can always use an electrician. Just got the #1 gifter badge. Appreciate that. Do you turn your head when watching a car crash? No, absolutely. Money is going to the side. I think money right now might be. I think there might be an argument for that. Because, again, we're selling off out of tech. Where's it going? And that's why a lot of people are talking about a rotation into IWM. And that's what I was talking about before we offended the little guy. If all this money is leaving tech, where's that cash going? Why is this not just in full send mode already? Why is that a bull flag and this is an absolute waterfall? So is it bonds? Is it cash? Probably a little bit of both. So you're in Houston? Dang. Rotation into cash in the sideline. I think a lot of people are getting the ponchos on. I don't know why I've said put your poncho on, you're in the splash zone so many times these last few streams, but I think that's what's going on. Webull pays 5% for cash, which is actually decent. It really is. And Robinhood pays 5.5%. I only say it because I made a video about that, and somebody did say, is that better than my 5% or something like that? So I had to get my calculator out to make sure 5.5% was higher than 5, but the math did check out. 5.5 was a little higher. If you're in the Houston area, shout out to this guy. 15 years commercial and residential electrical. There we go. All right, YouTube. I got to get up here. I got to get to my mentorship group. If things get crazy, you're going to see me again. I got some shorts coming out tonight. Just remember, there's Don Fron Trading and then Don Fron Show. Don Fron Show is AI stuff, so AI tickers, which is everything I'm in now. We're also doing a lot of wheel strategy stuff as far as like selling options, how to make money while just holding the shares. So the fluctuations in price don't, take this with a grain of salt, don't really mean that much. But you do have a couple more videos coming out on Don Franz Show as well. So YouTube, you'll see me tomorrow.